Hey everyone, this is the second series of stock market narratives. So the first one was on Zillow, and you'll see on the next slide there's a list of companies that kind of followed the same path that Zillow did, where they had a tailwind from COVID. They pulled through a lot of growth. Everyone got real optimistic about them, and then they reported and their growth was slowing, and then they got hammered. So a lot of these companies are trading at lower valuations than they are pre-COVID, but during COVID they had we're up 5 times what they were pre-COVID. So take a look at that list. Basically, it's the same formula. This happens with COVID or no COVID. It happens all the time. And these are the things I want to educate and help people identify when they happen. So you get a short-term tailwind in a business for whatever reason. Then you got the analysts starting to get real optimistic about it, putting up big price targets. They forecast growth at a real high rate for a long time. They say the market's bigger than it probably is. They don't worry about competition. They don't worry about the risks. Even if there's a 15% chance of something happening, it doesn't even get mentioned, or it's a less than 1% chance in their eyes. Then you also got the media. The media is very powerful. The media gets behind some of these companies, and everything's positive. Everything's positive. A perfect example, Forbes 2019, April 2019, the competition for Netflix and streaming was heating up, right? You got Disney Plus, Paramount, HBO, all these different streamers were coming out, and they said it was good for Netflix. The competition's good for Netflix, and if you watch the stock over the last 6 months, you'd see that the competition is not good for Netflix. And at the time when we read it, we're like, are they kidding me? But that's what they do. So if you can identify when this is happening and avoid getting caught up in it, I think over time you can spend more time focusing on the opposite, which I'll go into on the next stock market narratives, where there's a short-term headwind, and the short-term headwind creates a lot of pessimism, and then they start adding risks to the business that maybe there's a less than 3% chance of happening, but they act like it's a 50-50 coin toss, that this risk is going to develop and become something that really hinders the business. And that's kind of the formula that flips. And then the media gets real negative, the analysts get real negative, the stock goes down a lot, and there's maximum pessimism. But that's the time, if you buy a good business, great business that benefits over secular trends, long-term trends, and they have assets that are irreplaceable, then that's a winning investment, where even if the market is not good, your downside is pretty limited because it's already crushed, and your upside is pretty significant because they've hammered it, and that short-term headwind turns, and all of a sudden people become optimists again, and we've seen that a lot. So we'll do the next video in a situation like that, where it's kind of played itself out, the whole cycle, and then I'll do a video on inflation, like why do we have inflation now, but we didn't have inflation for all the years that we had low interest rates. Why did the inflation come over the last 18 months? So we'll go over that, and then kind of like how can we get out of this problem that we're in with inflation. On here, feel free to engage with me. Ask any questions. If you got any good investments that you're excited about, let me know about them. If you got investments that you're like not sure about, we can talk them through. Let me know what you think about the economy and inflation and gas prices, all that stuff. It would be great to engage on here with you guys. So feel free to reach out, and God bless.